Wow. Good morning, everybody. So much to just unpack here. I watch too much CNN or too much YouTube, but not really. I mean, it's good to get a few little sayings. But anyway, so yesterday was kind of crazy. I was trying to upload the video I did yesterday, which is really good. It was a great video, and I'm going to upload it, but I was like, why isn't this uploading? It was around 11 or so. And of course, that's when Facebook and everything shut down. So I was just like, oh my God, they're trying to get me. I actually, when I figured out my computer was not allowing me to get on Facebook and my phone wasn't allowing me to get on Facebook, and I was like, okay, it can't be two devices all of a sudden just go take a crap all at once. No, there had to be something going on with Facebook. So I did like an update, and that was it. I was like, okay, I'll just wait it out. But anyways, so yeah, yesterday was more of a realization that what I thought about the Greek gods were not so. And so everything that I thought, so what I wrote about the Greek gods last year is going to go into the garbage. Okay. I mean, I'll take certain parts of it, but there's going to be a totally different perspective about the Greek gods. And then understand the fallen angels. And then here's the thing. I was trying to figure out why they were teaching in academia. Okay, well, not even in academia, like in higher education, but in compulsory school. Why are they teaching in compulsory school? Now, part of me is just like, okay, well, they don't want us to know about the real truth about who the gods were. Well, maybe in that could also be true, but so if they pose it as a mythology, then it's easier to digest, and then people are like, okay, when you tell a story, it's easier to understand facts through a story, even though they're not always facts, but that's how teaching and storytelling go hand in hand. Is that you tell a story, there's definitely some morals to the story that people take away. So anyway, so then I'm like, okay, so maybe academic institutions teach us about the Greek gods because it is about hormone manipulation at the micro level manifesting in some kind of persona that the system wants us to adopt and wants us to find some relationship with based upon our own hormones. So there's a god for all types of hormones, and then you look at the breakdown of the school system or of the children in the school system, and you see the different hormonal petri dishes that are manifesting from that microbial hormonal bioengineering way in the beginning. I mean, in the beginning of time or in the beginning in utero. And what biotech has done as far as all the experimentation. So I can understand now why the Greek gods and why academia are hand in hand. And so this is interesting about transhumanism. Okay, transhumanism is when you're part machine and part human. How can you be part machine, part human? I mean, we know about Terminator and Judgment Day and all those dystopian films back in the 80s, and they knew what was going on back in the 80s, of course. And I saw, well, how there's a connection is that when people have an issue, let's say like they're trying to regulate or keep track of their blood or their blood sugars, well, they have like a thing called the Libre where it's like an implant, and you just put your phone over the implant and it tells you your sugar levels, and like, okay, that's transhumanism. When you have a heart thing, what do you call it? A heart regulator. It's a thing that heart implant. Well, what do you call it? It's a machine that measures your heart. Heart machine thing. What do you call that? I don't know. It's like a pacemaker. When you have a pacemaker in your body, okay, that's an implant. Or that's like, yeah, having some kind of machine in your body. It's like, that's transhumanism. When you have stents and rods and screws and things that keep your body together, that's transhumanism. When you go under the knife and get things reconfigured because you couldn't do it on your own, that's transhumanism. I saw this article on Facebook where a lady is getting these electrodes put in her head because she has severe depression. That is transhumanism. Okay? And so, we're reproducing transhumanists every single day. When we get the parents comfortable with, and see, here's the thing, the parents don't, see, if your kid isn't part of the privileged society or, here's the thing. When people get some kind of gene editing, it's almost something that you have to go like a designer child. So designer children are going to have the designer type of inventions because they have not only the background, the aptitude in the background, but they also have the support system and what it takes to get into that level in that field. And so it's interesting to see now the kids in our society who are trying to attain to a level of some kind of fame or some kind of fortune. But it's like, do they have the aptitude to be able to handle that kind of stress of passing tests, learning new information in a very condensed way, studying more than playing, okay? And so now I've seen another article about the school system, how the school system in California is going to give 50% grades. 50% grades. So what does that mean? That means that they're not trying to push competition. They're not trying to push anything that's going to cause some kind of war or some kind of dog eat dog, like Darwinism is about, survival of the fittest. Like right now we're in Darwin situation. This virus is a Darwinist type of situation at the micro level. There's no reason to go and start wars anymore. There's no reason to go and be in another country. There's no reason to kind of try to control people at the macro level. When you can find the cream and you can find the weaknesses and the chaff at the micro level and then let Mother Nature do its job. You don't have to pick up an arm or anything. An arm like pick up a gun or anything. All you have to do is release a virus that will level the playing field, and then certain people will get certain helpers. Because yes, transhumanism can help people kind of mediate aggressive environment, but it's not forever. I mean, you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. If you still think people should die, then no matter how much you do a nip and you tuck and a stent and a screw and an implant and whatever, your intentions are going to be realized. And so no matter, even if the system is like, okay, we're going to be so advanced in our technology that I can't wait to see how we're going to go and cure somebody of all these different diseases with machinery. People are so excited. I'm like, I'm sorry, but that's no different. That's no different than a person who is, in a very calm atmosphere, then getting more advanced levels of education, more advanced levels of food, more advanced levels of other stuff, but they still die anyways. And so now in a more dynamic environment, the shaft's going to go to the bottom, the cream's going to rise to the top, the scientists are going to find that cream and foster it to do what it needs to do, which is figure out if there's another way to create another invention for another disease. And so anyways, so then eventually at some point we have something like, the machines versus the humans. I mean, how many people do you know out there have a transplant, one transplant or another? But the thing is could you live indefinitely being part machine and part human? Well, I suppose not really, no, I don't think so. Because the body doesn't want to take on that machinery over a long period of time. It'll do it temporarily. People live with pacemakers temporarily. People live with other people's implants temporarily. People live with all these different operations and things that are done to them for temporarily. Yeah, they could probably achieve all these different things in their short span of lifetime of less than 100 years. Now, maybe we might live to 150 with transhumanism, but why would you have to be transhumanism? Why would you have to be part machine? Right now, I am feeling the virus. Okay? The virus is the heat. Like, I feel the earthquakes in my body. I feel, not like literally like earthquakes, but I can feel the heat. You know, when you have lava and all that stuff rising to the top, that's a lot of heat. Okay? And this is where like diamonds and all these precious stones become, are created through a lot of heat, a lot of heat, a lot of pressure. And so then you can see it in your stool, all the heat and the pressure and how your stool comes out. It is like going through the 9 circles of hell when you have virus running through your body, and it's really taking all the nutrients, out of your poop and dispersing them to the areas that it needs to be dispersed to. So then you really have to get that poop out and be committed to getting that poop out, because it's very viscous. It's very, holy crap. And so that's the thing with humans right now, is that they don't realize they have to go through the heat of the viruses. If they don't want to go through the heat of the viruses and they suffer certain deficit disease events like heart attacks and strokes, they're then going to go and get that evolutionary energy to squelch it, and it will take years off their life. Okay? And so our society is now going towards, instead of competing, because there's an article that says that they're going to give kids now, so they're going to teach kids now that there's not going to be really anyone like on your ass. There's not going to be repercussions for your actions. There's not going to be anyone on your ass to go and tell you, okay, you need to go to bed, you need to go study this, you need to get off with doing this, you need to pass this, you need to write this. I mean, I'll tell you what. I know that my mom, I talk a lot, like my mom was very heavy-handed. And maybe there could have been a happy medium somewhere, but I don't know. I was already at a deficit. She didn't like sugar, so I wasn't getting enough sugar in my diet. I got enough protein because I was eating high-protein cereals, but she definitely was on my ass. She held me accountable for a lot of stuff, and she came down very hard if I didn't get in line. Like we had chores in the morning. At 5 a.m, we'd walk the dog and we'd sweep the floor. We'd make our breakfast, and we made our lunch the night before. And then we had chores like sweeping the floors on the weekends and cleaning the bathroom and cleaning up the dog poo and helping Dad rake the lawn. And, when he would go and trim the bushes, pick up everything and put him in the big plastic bags. And so we had a lot, it was like a working colony type of thing when you think about it. It was an adult-centered household. And then, when I wasn't doing well in school, then I would have to be forced to write 13 book reports. I read 13 books in one summer. I didn't swim. My sister swam because she was all cured up, right? She wasn't dealing with any sickness or behavior issues. She was in a cured state. So she was able to go and do great in school and hardly ever got punished. And then, all that stuff. So I was always, just the one that was rebelling, the one that was evolving the most, and then having more aggressive energy come down on me to keep me in line, to have me, to make me learn the multiplication tables, to make me learn how to read, and understand concepts and just learn everything, all the basics. And so now, are we going to have people like that in our society? If the parents don't do it, who's going to do it? The school system is not going to do it. And so now the kids are going to be like, it's all about play, 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 no accountability. What are they going to do for a living? They're going to live with mom and dad until mom and dad are going to support them. Maybe, if mom and dad are thinking that far along, do they set their kid up correctly? And that kid's going to go out there and who knows what. And so it's interesting. I mean, there's got to be a little bit of competition in this world. Just a little bit. But anyway, so the Greek gods, they were all about excess. And they were the fallen angels, and are taught in academia, because how do you take something of excess and use it to capitalize on people's emotions, their need for distractions and entertainment? And so then, then we teach our boys and our girls that you are only good to entertain, and if people don't like you or love you or give you all these accolades all the time, then you're nothing. And so then people do things that are so crazy just to get attention. And that's what all the YouTubers are, the people who do such crazy things. And that's why Zuckerberg was being held accountable, and why the whistleblower came out, because it was profit over the public good. Okay? I mean, when you attack people, give out misinformation, and you start wars and start all these different crazy groups where people are just cannibalizing a person spiritually, that makes a lot of money. And guess what the Greek gods did? They made a lot of money off the humans by cannibalizing them, putting them through extreme amounts of pain and torture. But then also, we have a very working society, so we had to sort of, get molded into this way, and didn't come without a price and without pain and without suffering and without sacrifice, obviously. But now that we have an infrastructure of our society, do we need to rely on all of those draconian methods? Though it's interesting that they're now putting out indicators on CNN that Trump is going to try to run for 2024, and he's going to be even more draconian. So this shit isn't over. Y'all people, that are like against Biden, just wait. Just wait till Trump gets in. Now people are like, who love Trump are like, yeah, law and order and this and that. Well, that's no different. Hey, the Nazis back in the 1930s, they were rising in America. There's a video that I didn't watch on YouTube, but there's a lot of people that were Nazis, the birth of the Nazis in America. And people didn't realize what they were going to be like down the road. Okay? And so then someone says, oh, God, they're going to liken this to, way back in history and the rebirth of something that's very fascist and very intolerant. And so this is the thing, life and salt and tolerance and all of that is going to take you a long way. Yeah, you can be mad at somebody else that does it, that's not working to what you think is their capacity. You can be mad at someone else for who the hell knows what, for not working or whatever. But then is your life, is your peace, is your own prosperity, is that important? Is breathing important to people? Some people forget the basics, that you wake up one day and you have food and you're breathing. That's so much more important than having, your 50 zillion 10-foot house, 50 zillion foot house, and your million cars and all that. It's like the most important thing is to wake up breathing, is to be alive. People forget that what it's like just to be alive, and all your activist stuff is really like wasting energy, is spinning wheels that you don't have the energy to deal with. So I know I'm rambling right now, but I now kind of get what's going on. Before, we needed the competition. We need all the wars. We need all the Darwinian types of belief systems and lifestyles. And now we don't need that anymore. The virus is going to go and level the playing field. And so it's now a war within you. The war is not out there. Though people will tell you the war is out there. Nope, the war is within you. And salt is the neutral party. Salt is a neutralizing force, neutralizing someone's intentions to destroy or trying to block your evolution. And then salt is also a catalyst to evolution. And so no matter what you do out there, when it comes to fighting for your rights, I don't care what it is, the system is going to try to get people who are unbalanced out there on the streets. Because when you're out there on the streets, you are fair game. You have an intention to destroy. And that's what the system is trying to purge from our society, are those that don't understand balance and understand both sides of the argument and strategy. The people who understand strategy are going to stay home, stay safe, understand both sides of the story, and still rise above. And so that's going to be the name of the game. So I feel bad for a lot of people who don't really understand that. that can't be at home with themselves, who have to be out there because the system will either work against you because you're out there as an activist, or the system's going to work against you because the energy on bodies at a deficit can't handle the energy. And so it does accelerate your intentions. If you expect to die, then yeah, it will accelerate your expectations. So this is so interesting. But I'm going to post that other video that I did yesterday because it was such a good video. Today I'm just kind of rambling and just giving you guys an idea of what the future is going to hold. And transhumanism is already here. Now it's just, okay, how long can a person live when they're half machine, hooked up to electrodes, being Bluetoothed by their doctor? How long do you think they're going to live? And then one day, yeah, you just hit the off button and the person just dies. See, transhumanism is leaving your body, mind, and spirit in someone else's hands. The J-Juice and the JJ mentality is all about autonomy. It's all about understanding what it takes to live and still be productive, still be innovative, still be creative, still be a contributing member of society without somebody pressing buttons to check on your sugar, without someone pressing buttons to make sure that your heart is running the way it's supposed to, without somebody going in and doing invasive surgery because you don't want to regenerate those arteries and capillaries or take on the fat or take on the substance that you need to actually work for yourself. See, that's the true conundrum of a lot of the patriots out there. They're all about being autonomous and working for yourself and working. But if you're not even working your own heart, lungs, and your body, and you're relying on the medical system, how are you any different than someone that takes a government stipend because of disabilities? You're no different if you're relying on the medical holistic system because you can't work on your own. That's the hypocrisy of the political system. They make people hypocritical and they don't even know it. So, anyways, good luck to everybody. Bye.